Today I'm going to explain to you how to create the circles that you need for our icosahedron ornament project. So the supplies that you need are your compass and your ruler. And you're going to need to make 20 of these, so you might want to practice a little bit first. So watch carefully, and you'll need to do this 20 times. You don't want to make any shortcuts or trace or do anything else, because then your ornament won't fit together properly. So the first thing we're going to do is create an equilateral triangle. And for this ornament, all your triangles need to have a side length of 5 centimeters. So it's not going to be too big or too small. So start out by creating a segment of 5 centimeters. And we've created equilateral triangles before, so this shouldn't be new to you. And then we'll open our compass from endpoint to endpoint so that it's 5 centimeters. So make sure that it's the proper length. And then we'll start at the left endpoint. And again, make sure you don't hold your compass straight up. Make sure you don't hold it by the sides, but just at the top. So put a little more pressure on the pointy end, and then gently sweep in an arc there. Go over to your other endpoint, to the right-hand side. Again, hold your compass at the top. Don't change the compass opening. And gently sweep it again. And mark the intersection point. And that's where you will connect now with your straight edge. The endpoint to the last vertex that we made. And there's your equilateral triangle. Now, to make the ornament, we need to have flaps that we can glue together. So what we're going to do is called circumscribe a circle all the way around the triangle so that each vertex of the triangle is on the circle. In order to do that, we need to make the perpendicular bisector of the side of the triangle, and we need 2 sides to have a perpendicular bisector. So this is going to get messy, and you're going to really have to pay attention to the markings. So the first thing we do is bisector means we're going to split a side in half, and perpendicular means it's going to be straight up and down at right angles. So in order to do that with your compass, take your compass point and put it on the right or the left end point, excuse me. Open your compass a little bit more than halfway, so it should be closer to the right end point than the left. And then this is where you might need to practice a few times before you start doing everything for real, is you go below the triangle. So I'm going way below, and I'm going to sweep up in an arc like that. So from below the triangle, sweep it up and stop about there. Then, without changing the compass opening, go to the right endpoint, start at the bottom, and you want both arcs intersecting below and above. So sweep it again very carefully, and you'll have 2 intersecting arcs. They'll intersect above the side of the triangle and below. So if you mark those endpoints just really lightly, then I'm going to draw the perpendicular bisector of that side of the triangle. So I'm going to connect those 2 spots. And so this segment splits this side of the triangle in half, and it creates right angles right here. So just to show that one more time, take the point of your compass, make sure it's open to more than halfway, sweep one arc like that, switch your endpoint to the right hand side and sweep another arc, and then where those 2 arcs intersect, you connect them with a straight line. Then we need to make one more, because we want the point where these 2 perpendicular bisectors will intersect. So I'm going to turn my paper, and I'm going to repeat the same thing I just did. I'm going to repeat that over here. So I didn't move my compass at all. So I'm just going to use the same settings. So you might notice that you're extending one of your arcs still. You're just going to keep going. So I'm just going to keep going with that one. Okay, so I just halfway, it's the same setting as this side. So I just continue the arc. Then I'm going to go to the right hand, and I'm going to sweep it again so it intersects above and below. So I'm going to make that point, that point. So again, I open more than halfway, started on the left side of this triangle, swept an arc, didn't change the compass opening, put my point on the right end point and swept another arc. Where they intersected, I made a little point. Then I'm going to connect those. And then you'll see where, without the curved lines, now I'm looking at where the two bisectors meet. So I'll highlight those for you so you can see. You don't have to highlight these when you do this for real, but when you're practicing, it really helps. So that was one perpendicular bisector, and that was the other. And where they intersect, this point is really important. It's called the circumcenter of the triangle, and we're going to talk more about that when we get into Chapter 5 later. But what you can do that's really cool here is start with the point of your compass at that intersection. Open it up to any of the three vertices of your triangle. Any one will do. You can start up here. You can start over here. Okay? And then very carefully swing your compass in a circle. And that's the part that takes practice. So from the center, you'll swing your compass in a circle. Some people like to keep the compass stationary and turn their paper. I like to just kind of turn it, but you have to be really careful to hold the point part down pretty hard and then sweep it around. So we created an equilateral triangle. We did two perpendicular bisectors, and then we opened our compass up from the circumcenter to a vertex, and then we swept a circle. And then from there, you're going to cut that circle out very carefully. And you're going to do this out of paper that's a little stiffer than the paper you're practicing on. You also don't have to worry about erasing any markings at all. Because you'll have the nice part of the paper on the outside. So then what we do is we fold the flaps. And you can kind of fold it out at first and then in. So you're going to fold it right along the sides of the triangle. And these are our flaps. And what that's going to allow us to do, so once we have that all nice and folded like that, you're going to actually flip it over like this. So you need 20 of these, and the flaps are where we're going to glue and put our ornament together. So practice a few times, and then when you're ready, we'll get your nice paper ready to go, and you can start making your icosahedron Christmas ornament.